Nikes, they didn't call me and cold sale me. I desperately wanted them because the biggest companies in the world really do brand.
Is this really happening right now? This is
really happening.
You're trying to educate people on how not to hire you. Doing the right thing is always the right thing. Be the roofing magazine for the town and neighborhood, not the guy or gal who sells the roof. I actually am very concerned about people that are over-reliant on search and Google. My brother and my fiance both use 100% ChatGPT. The ultimate long-term is branding. Brand is impossible to measure. Brand is like love and God. Attention is the #1 asset.
There he is.
Benny, I have to get stitches right now. You see this?
What happened?
Ross Brown elbowed me directly in the fucking eye.
Did you lose were you playing VeeFriends Uno edition or something? Did you lose?
No, we were playing basketball. It was going well. Why don't we get into some Q&A while we're waiting for the doctor? Let me see what I can pull off here.
Are you being serious?
I'm being dead serious. Here's the doctor.
That's wild.
Getting ready. Actually, I'll have Dust.
Only GaryVee has the doctor.
Yeah, maybe we could. Yeah, it's good.
Joseph Hughes, what question do you have for my main man Gary?
What's up, Gary, man? So good to see you. Thanks for your dedication and doing this from your bedside there as you're getting ready to get stitches. So appreciate you, my man. We've got a few hundred people here. So as you may know or may not, we ran a marketing agency for 7 years. 2019, we transitioned over into an education company or marketing training company because we believe, and what we've seen is that small businesses need to understand the DNA of marketing. They cannot just blindly outsource it. So our clients, our community are the folks that get it. Most of the roofing industry, however, still does not understand why it is so critically important to have some marketing DNA and some people and some tools inside your company to build your brand, to day trade attention. So can you speak on that for just a minute?
Yeah, so team, getting new customers comes in 2 ways, marketing and sales, right? You're either a sales organization or you're a marketing and brand organization. And so the reality is that in this industry, a lot of you are just in sales, which is amazing. I don't begrudge sales. I love sales. And so that's fine and that's great. But sales is what you do when you don't know how to build brand. Sales is what you do when you don't do marketing, right? Because what ends up happening when you build marketing is it comes to you versus sales where you go to them. So everybody does sales, except the biggest companies in the world really do brand. Like these Nikes, they didn't tag me or call me and cold sale me. I desperately wanted them. What everybody's goal in here is that in your general area, your city, your county, your state, you need to be the default roofing company that everyone thinks about at all times, always, period, end of story. That is the ultimate goal. That only happens if you do branding. That happens if you are constantly top of mind. This is why car companies are constantly running TV commercials and billboards. They have no idea when you're ready to buy a fucking car, but they always want to be top of mind, so you pick that. So the reason everybody needs a sales organization is it's the better version of doing business and selling stuff, right? Marketing organizations are the key. Sales is great, but building brand is the key. And a lot of you are reliant just on Google AdWords, which is really digital selling. And the reality is that Google itself, with ChatGPT and Perplexity and all these AI things, so if you're in this room right now and you get most of your leads from Google, you better wake the fuck up, because the next 5 years, all consumer behavior is going to start shifting to AI bots. And that's a major deal. So look, I just can't push hard enough on building brand, because it's the historic truth of building businesses. And brand building is now done on social, and social is free for reach if you're good at it, which is insane. Of course, you could spend more media dollars on it, but the fact that it's also free, because of the way the algorithms work now, so now becoming great at content has become 10 times more important.
That's awesome. Let's go to Jamie Samide next. VP of Marketing, Fortune 500 company, Beacon Roofing. Jamie, what's up? What's your question for Gary?
Hey, Gary. So spent 10 years at Procter & Gamble, so definitely am vibing what you're stating about all these things. I think the interesting thing for a lot of our contractors is to get their mind shifts that the average homeowner, I think, would only buy a new roof every 1 to 2 times in their life, right?
Yep. Yep.
So how can they think differently than, say, a retail experience where I'm going to the grocery store every week or I'm buying wine every month? This is something that a homeowner only does once every 20 years. So how can they think differently about how important and magical that moment is during that marketing to sales process?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know this, like whether it's mattresses, we've worked on Casper, whether it's cars, we've worked on Ford, longer lead time, once in a blue moon purchases. It actually requires branding in a different way and more. Again, this is why I will continue to triple down on.
After now, yeah.
Okay, God damn it. What do I do?
Do you want to take the phone away for a sec? Well,
No, I
yeah.
think it's kind of cool.
Okay. All right. Just
This sucks.
so close your eyes.
I will.
Nobody pass out.
Is this really happening right now? This is
Really happening. This is cool
This is
though. Like,
incredible.
I mean, we got inside access to the concierge doctor, and maybe the doctor can comment on how he feels about branded marketing. I don't know.
when you build a brand, you get to the point where the doctor comes to you, like someone in the comments mentioned. So that's the ultimate level of building a brand.
Let's do a question. Let's see. Let me ask, because we can answer some of these questions. Let's see here. Any questions?
I can
in the
answer a
chat
question.
so far?
I'm good, Benny. Ask a question. So anyway,
All right.
it's
you
a
done with
longer lead time, obviously. It's longer lead time when you're selling a roof once or twice, but don't forget, there's people constantly talking about it. So your customers, this is what the industry where over delivering on experience is remarkably important, because you all know this. Word of mouth and recommendation is huge to this industry, right? So this is an industry where you've got to constantly over deliver. I'm going to give you guys a tactic that I'm obsessed with. A year after you do someone's roof, a year to the day, I want you to send them something, a small gift, couple $100, whether it's wine, whether it's flowers, whether it's golf equipment. Obviously, you're at their home, so you have a pretty good sense of them a little bit, right? If you send something 1 year to the day after you worked with them and ask them, how's it going, right? How's the roof going? It's so out of mind because it was a year ago. The surprise and delight benefits of that are just remarkable and leads to a tremendous amount of word of mouth. So if you're doing that, especially if you go unique, like you were in the house and you saw they had a bunch of Marvel memorabilia everywhere, and you go buy a $300 comic book and you send it with a note, how's the roof treating you? That person's going to be so overwhelmed. They're going to tell that story 13 times. And one of those 13 times, somebody's going to be like, oh shit, I need a new roof. I actually think the thank you economy, Benny, is potentially even more impactful to this crew than day trading attention. Actually, together, they're the real. This is really funny. So that's where we're at with that.
I definitely believe that the gifting strategy is really good. I'm not sure if you know who John Rulin is, Gary. Giftology. He wrote a book on giftology. He's a friend of mine.
I do know him.
He's done some
I
stuff
do know
with
John.
VaynerMedia in the past. I
Yep.
dropped John's link. I dropped John's link in the chat because he's got a really cool, and he loves that whole idea of gifting like a special, especially something that's nuanced from like finding something in the home that they might be interested in, whether it's sports. You told a story one time where you sent somebody a jersey that bought a case of wine. Remember?
You want me to tell that story? It's a crazy story.
Tell the quick story, and then we're gonna get to Q&A.
So I was writing this book, thank you, 11. I wanted like a great example of why I believed surprise and delight was a driver to retention and growth. And so I told Brandon Warnicki, who still runs Wine Library, that the next time somebody orders wine on our website and we could find them on Twitter, to follow them and figure out what they love. And it took a couple weeks, but we found a guy with a unique last name. We were able to identify and confirm that it was that same guy on Twitter. And we realized that he was a huge Chicago Bears fan. Brandon called me. I told him to go buy a Jay Cutler signed jersey on eBay who was the quarterback at the time. Ironically, the gentleman that bought the wine bought something very inexpensive. He bought a case of cheap Pinot Grigio. We probably made $35 in profit on the whole sale. I told Brandon to buy a $300, $400 signed jersey. We send him the jersey with a note saying, thank you for shopping Wine Library for the first time. We hope you enjoy this. I thought the guy was going to call the next day losing his mind. Weeks go by and we don't hear from him. We did a bunch of little things like this, trying to get examples for the book. I'm all pissed. Like a month later, I'm like, I can't believe the Jay Cutler one didn't work. A couple weeks later, I'm boarding a plane and Brandon calls me frantically. And then he texts me, call me, call me, call me. I call him. He goes, you're not going to believe what happened. Sorry, it's okay. I said, the Jay Cutler guy called or bought something? He goes, no. I go, God damn it. He goes, better. I go, what? He goes, a guy just placed an order in Texas for $6,000 worth of Burgundy, very high-end wine. I'm like, okay. I go, what does that mean? He goes, wait. He goes, now let me tell you what the note said in the gift note section. He said, Wine Library, this is my first order. You have a tremendous Burgundy selection. This is amazing. I want to talk to somebody about more Burgundy. P.S. My buddy in Chicago told me about the jersey that you sent him a couple of weeks ago. PSS, I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. That's how it works.
That's awesome. All right, let's get a Q&A for some of these contractors. Giovanni Ramirez, unmute and ask your question to GaryVee.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? So
Good, man.
my question, well, I kind of want to say something first. I just want you guys to know that I think it's pretty legendary that, Gary, you didn't reschedule this, even though you're getting stitches right now. I think that's really the definition of no excuses at this point.
Thank
So
you, my brother.
getting it done. But I hope all is well. And my question was, if you were a single family residential roofer, what platform would you choose to run the proper content strategy? And like, what would your content strategy be?
I'm obsessed for this industry on Meta, specifically Facebook, believe it or not, even though Instagram's great too, but I'm obsessed with Meta. You've got the right buyers there. Facebook's targeting is incredible. Especially when you start learning media on top of just organic content, it gets really crazy. So I would become as great at Facebook marketing as possible, both organic and paid. But the reality is you want to be on as many platforms as you possibly can. And you could use the same video on every platform as long as you slightly DJ it and change the copy, maybe the hook, maybe the title. Because obviously on TikTok, it's a little different vibe than it is on LinkedIn. The content I think would be about, my big belief is in this industry, you're trying to educate people on how not to hire you. Like that would be my strategy. I'm the roofing guy that doesn't want you to ever need me. I'm going to teach you things that you should be doing to protect your roof. And that is building so much value that all of a sudden builds an incredible reputation, right? Doing the right thing is always the right thing. So if you're out here making unlimited videos of what people can be doing after rainstorms, after, what they could be coating it with, how do they maintenance it? How do they detect it? How do they, could you imagine making content driving around a street and pointing out things on roofs that they should, just become a public service, right? Character, and it will lead to unlimited business. I started a wine show in 2006, and all I was trying to do was get people to stop buying bad wine, which led to people buying wine from me. If you're out there trying to help people get 2-3 more years out of their roof, well, now you're a monster, right? And what if you're making content telling people how not to get tricked to pay more for a roof than they are? You guys know this. There's a lot of bad advice. There's a lot of I wouldn't call it bad actors, but you know this. Some of your competition, maybe even some of you, if we're being honest, are maximizing the fee when there's ways to minimize it a little bit. What if you're the guy or gal out there making content? Like, imagine making a video that's titled 16 questions you must ask before you buy a new roof. That's massive. Thank you, Nate. I do think it's good. Like, be the roofing magazine for the town and neighborhood, not the guy or gal who sells the roof. By doing that, you're the most valuable character in the game. I think all of you intuitively know this is good advice, right? Think about how people fear overpaying for a roof and all that stuff. You're building reputation that way. And don't forget, I've been saying the same thing for 15 years, 100 different ways. So even if there's only 7 to 15 different things that matter in your game, there's a million different ways to say it. There's a million different places to say it from, on top of a roof, on the garage, on the driveway looking up to the roof. Different slang, different platforms, different adjectives, using pop culture. Maybe there's a big tornado that happened and you make a piece of content that next day referencing the tornado. Let the world be your context, but stay true to the core message.
Thank you for that question, Giovanni. How about Nate Schweppy? Nate Schweppy, unmute, ask GaryVee your question, buddy. Welcome to the inside, buddy.
Yeah, Schweppy,
All
get
right.
in here, brother. Schweppes, what's good?
Appreciate it. Epic opportunity. So my question is not really marketing or branding related. So just give you a real quick backstory. I've been in business about 14 years, kind of been a one-man show the whole time, and, you know, fluctuated around $1 million in revenue. And so the question is, I've kind of plateaued, and I've gotten to a little bit of a comfort level. I'm not really comfortable enough that I want to stay here, but I'm not really uncomfortable enough that I want to make major changes to get to that next level. So how do I do that? How do I find that motivation to push to that next level?
That's a great fucking question. I think you're going to be forced into that because of how the world's changing. So I think ultimately what's going to push you, buddy, is fear. Because there's no such thing as being in the middle. Businesses are either on the offense or on the defense. You may not see it, but based on your words, you're currently declining. You know that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's it. So somebody's going to come along and do exactly what I'm talking about in your general area, and she or he is going to take so much market share that you're going to get caught, and you're going to change in one of two ways. You're going to be on your back foot and invest in panic, or you're going to sell your business.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and so let's keep building on this, buddy. What I think is the fact that you know that you're in this kind of complacent mode, I would rather you sell the business right now at the top of the market for you, because you're still where you are, and the decline will come either slowly or rapidly depending on the competitive nature of the market, or use this moment with me, you, and the stitches and decide, fuck it, I need to go back on the offense. And maybe you bring in a minority partner who has the fire in their belly. Maybe you hire a great executive, or, you know, who's got it. Or you just say, fuck it, I've got one more at bat in me. Let me go hard, get it up to 1.6, and then I'm going to flip it. Because there is no, you're in the middle. There is no, like, you're not just chilling. You're either growing or you're declining.
Yep. Appreciate it. Yep. That makes sense. Love
That's
it.
a good one. Thanks, Nate. Charlie Anderson, my boy from DreamWorks in the middle of central Pennsylvania. You're up with GaryVee.
What's up, Gary? Thanks for getting on here, man. It's a great pleasure to listen to you. Been a long time fan.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely. So my question is, I just lost it. Let me pull it back up here. So my question was, we never really viewed roofing as something that people really wanted to learn about or hear about on their social media feeds. Like, my wife doesn't even watch it. She gives it a like and she swipes past because it's not a problem that she has right now.
Well, that might have more to do with what she thinks about you, brother, than roofing.
That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
But we feel like nobody really wants to buy a roof. Everybody, they have to do it and they just want to get it over with and be done with it. But we want to stay in front of them all the time. So when we make roofing content, it seems like nobody gives a shit about it. So we want to create more like
until
like
they do. Until they do. Let's just, I don't want to let that one go, because everyone has to remember.
For sure.
And again, if the title of the video is "Don't get ripped off when you buy your next roof," that also might matter. Or 6 questions you have to ask to save yourself money before you buy your next roof.
Right.
So I know where I sense where you're about to go, but I just wanted to put that pin there because all of you need that. Keep going, my brother.
For sure. Yeah. But what I want to do is I just want to create content that people like to watch. I want to create entertaining content about small businesses and things in our community that are happening. So, but I don't want to detract from the fact that we're a roofing company. So how much content when we put out, how
Ready?
much do you think
Ready?
should be
You can make it
for
about
that
golfing.
service?
You can make it about cigars, golfing, whiskey, the new mayoral race in town, the carnival coming to town, and then literally make a piece of content that you use every time. That's almost
Right.
like quiche and funny, that at the end of the video, it like changes and it says, P.S. we sell roofs. You know, like
Right.
you could do, it could be a whole shtick where like everything you do is awesome. To your point, it's more interesting, but then every video you have, P.S. And if you or your friend or neighbor or relative are in the market for a roof, don't forget to come to us. Literally a P.S. clip that you add to every video.
Right. So it's just, that's like the afterthought. That's, and it's
It's
but yeah, because we just,
it's a subtle reminder. So maybe
Yeah.
your 4th of July Main Street parade goes viral and everybody sees the PS and boom, you're the winner. I'm a very big fan of this concept of the PS, I'm a dentist. PS, I'm a roofer. PS, we do landscaping. PS, we have the best pizza in town. I think the PS edit at the end of content that's everything local is a monster move for local SMBs.
I like that.
P.S.
I like that.
do
PS,
stitch-
PS, we're a roofer.
P.S. I do stitches. We gotta get that doctor some publicity today, man. This is gonna be a good one. Thanks, Charlie, for that.
Of course. Thank you.
Long Island Joe, Joseph L. Shadley, coming to speak with GaryVee. I don't know if you're gonna remember this GaryVee, but he's a good buddy of mine, Joseph, and I had him be a guest on one of my Hangout hot calls. So I think he's got to do a format similar to this. But he's got a question about his roofing business, and more importantly, the media company that he's trying to build for his roofing business.
How you doing, Gary? Thanks so much for doing this. This is really awesome, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, brother.
So we're building a small media team inside our organization with like a director and editors. We create content for a handful of people in our organization, like sales reps and operations staff. And we're currently tracking leads by asking people if they've seen our videos to kind of measure success. But besides the leads, like what other metrics would you recommend looking at to evaluate if our team's doing a good job and if we're on the right track?
Reach of the content. So you're looking in the platform of how much reach did the video get. So I'll just use my Instagram, for example. So yesterday, my post with my dad, two carousel, right? Image, then video. I hit view insights. I'm sure you've seen that before. And so I'm able to see that this reached 233,000 people, right? That is giving you a great indication if we're making content that is good for the platform. The platform is deeming the content good, right? Next, you're doing click-through, right? How many people are actually going to the site? So I may reach 1 million people, but only 100 come to the site. Or I may have 223,000 people I reach and 20,000 come to the site. Obviously, the second one, the content was more narrow, but it did the job we care about most, right? You're basically looking at reach, click-through, and then conversion. You can get every piece of content to how many people did it maximize reaching, how many of them filled out leads, and then how many of them became customers, all 3 levels. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yeah, definitely.
So and by the way, if you're building brand, the first one matters kind of in a real way, right? The second one's a great indicator of the affinity of the brand work that was done, right? And then the third one is the business impact of what the content made. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah, thank you.
So that's what you do on every single post, Joe.
Love it.
Thanks for the question, Joe. Jeremy Simpson's next. Jeremy Simpson, unmute and ask your question.
What is up, Gary?
What's that?
I'm a Jersey strong family built business here. So
what part of Jersey?
Family's from Patterson, but we live all the way up in Vernon by the ski resorts.
I love it, man. Good for you.
So it's about that. I'm coming from a 3rd generation family business that was very like head down, strong, just get it done mentality. And as I'm gaining in this market and brand awareness deal, it's not fitting my vision on how I wanted to move the company. You know, I wasn't taught that. I was only taught to put the roof on, go. And in my process of becoming more aware of brand awareness and marketing, the duality of running this business in that old mindset while trying to turn the new wheels is a bit of a struggle. And
why? From managing your time and energy, or are there other humans in the family business making the second part a challenge?
No, actually, the family business is down to just me. So there's nobody else in it that's influencing my time or anything like that. It's really just mindset on how the business's wheels were funded. It's money. So the old methods and the old ways are still what's paying the bills.
What are the old methods and old ways?
Well, I'm not sure we can go into all of that, but you know, it's just
universal. I mean, this is a universal conversation for everyone. Meaning, like,
yeah.
When you say old methods, old ways, you don't mean just like put on the roof. You mean how you got customers?
Yes, we're 100% referral before, and we didn't need marketing. We'd have no letters on the.
Do you need it now, or why don't you just say 100% referral?
I believe because what you said in the 2 calls before, I'm dying and I'm recognizing that model is not going to work for me. And I recognized it early, and that process just took a long time to start to switch over. So I want to extract the things that benefit.
Why did it?
Why what?
Did it take long to switch over? Because even though you recognized it, you hadn't felt it in the P&L yet, and that's why you didn't act on it?
Yes, and it was very difficult.
No shit, Jeremy. This is why I'm leading you down this path. You didn't act on it like I wanted you to when you recognized it. You only are starting to act on it now because you're starting to feel the pain. Yes or no? Tell me.
I don't feel pain yet because we don't have such a big company that matters yet. It's actually the opposite. I want to actually grow the company now, and I know that old model's not going to do it.
So your business is not down.
No.
But because you're intuitive and it's family business, you've been in it, like are you telling me you're kind of starting to smell the smoke before the fire? Like, it's not down, but you've been doing this your whole fucking life and you can kind of smell it.
Yes, 100%.
So then I'm really proud of you. Okay, so what's the fucking problem? Because the alternative is you go out of business.
I don't want to go out of business.
Like, so is it a part of like just the mental part of getting over the hill of like, fuck, I have to learn a new fucking trick that fuck this shit kind of stuff?
So the question I at the end is this. I want to know where, I would like to know a recommendation on not misusing the macro patience and micro speed theory. Yep. I don't want the triggers to know when I'm being complacent and when patience is needed.
Where are you on content on social?
Not where I want to be, but I very much enjoy content. I like doing videos. I'm not afraid to get behind the camera. I'm not afraid to speak on different topics.
Have you ever gotten customers from social?
I'm going to say this one, and this is awesome that I'm able to say this. Last year, well, maybe 16 months ago, an old customer from a decade and a half, his daughter clicked on my profile. Her father looked at it, and it triggered a dual sale of about $2.5 million in 2 projects off of a TikTok that wasn't even about roofing.
So what the fuck are we doing here?
I know, but I wasn't able to, that's what I wanted. That's what made me start to want to go and do this and not old school.
No shit.
Yeah.
It would make me want to do it too.
I know.
$500,000. That's an awesome story, bro. Like, that's cool. I didn't know that story.
So, Jerm, I honestly, like, why I'm doing this, because it's bringing value for everyone, as you can imagine. Everyone hearing that number, that just woke up a lot of people who have not started yet or have never seen that. Like, I guess what I'm not joking. What's the question here? Like, why are you not doing more? Like, are you asking me why I think you might not be making 3 videos a day and posting them on all 7 social networks like you should be?
I think it's the fear of
that you'll get distracted and you actually like it so much you might only do that, and that's like playing around and not running the business.
Oh my God, 200%, because that's exactly where I go. I feel like I'm doing content all day and then no one's putting a roof on, kind of deal. My mind.
Makes sense. So Jeremy, tell me your day. No bullshit, because what the fuck are we doing here otherwise? When does your day start professionally?
Crews are leaving 6:30, 7 in the morning. I'm not actually, I've retracted myself a lot from operations now. I have a person that does all that. That's one of the moves that I changed from old school to new school. So my day actually starts taking care of the family and checking out some social media content and posts and trying my best to throw a little story out real quick. And then I go to the office and see what's going on for the day. I've been oddly removed from operations, which is allowing me to have that time to do some of this stuff. And I think I just said my own question. Being removed from operations is what's making me feel so weird after having 30 years of only
Now I understand.
down. Yeah,
Can I give you some real peace of mind?
please.
You grew up in this business, right?
Every second.
Just a funny question right now. You ready?
Yep.
If I walked into that office and offered everybody 4 times more money than you pay them, because I wanted to start a direct competitor to you in Vernon, New Jersey, okay? And they're all gone now. Next day, they were like, fuck you, GaryVee, we love him, see ya. Would you know what to do to hire people and get it going?
I'd like to say yes.
So that's funny. So explain to me, what has happened in your removing from operations or doing? Like, I figured since you grew up in it, right? You're in it, like that there's nothing you don't know. Are you saying you don't have the stomach to do it? Like you here's an interesting one. Do you feel like you've done such a nice job of building it out, building the ops, that you're in a really cush spot right now? Because it sounds like you're on social media all day just hanging out. Like, do you feel like the fear of like going back to that grind, like you're enjoying this chapter? And it's not that you don't know what to do, you just prefer not to have to go back to the way you worked for 20 years. Yeah.
Yes.
So I got a great piece of advice. Let's keep it going. Who is the person that would quit or get sick or unfortunately die? This is how we all have to think. Who's the person that you can't lose? Who's the person that if you lost, you'd get away from this cush world you're now living in?
My operationals partner.
Great. Hire a junior operationals partner tomorrow to be the number 2. Start building that person up. So if that number 1 disappears, you're good.
Thanks for that question, Jeremy. Thanks for the therapy session.
Jeremy, you got it?
I do.
Jeremy, what I just told you to do is what I've done my whole life. I have a backup for every single critical person that would drag me into something, and it lets me sleep like a fucking baby. I give up profit for it, but I also create growth on it, because sometimes when the number 2 gets as good as the number 1 and the number 1's chilling and staying forever, then I'm on the offense. I'm like, fuck it, let's open up another fucking office. You could go attack Monmouth County now because your number 2's is good. You bring in another number 2 you see where I'm going? You're playing defense. Let's go on offense. Hire a junior operations manager, train the fuck out of her or him. Let them get in a year, they'll be ready in case, God forbid, the other person goes and you're back to fucking stumbling into the office at 10:30 and enjoying your fucking life.
Oh, all right. We got to go. Let's get to another question. That's
Amazing.
Good. That's good
Amazing.
advice. Philip Rams, who is a marketing manager at a company in New Jersey. We have a lot of New Jersey people in here today. I'm actually live.
Best fucking state in the country. What are you fucking talking about?
I'm actually a
No. We're Long Island. We're Long Island.
Oh, you're in Long Island. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Long Island. That's right. Go ahead, Philip.
Hey, you probably can't see my video for some reason. It's acting up. It says that it's on, but it doesn't look like it's working. So my apologies for that, but I'll try to be brief. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I know everyone wants to ask questions. So basically my question is, I understand you were talking about, trying to tackle things in marketing, such as like doing the PS stuff, or if there's an event such as, whether it be weather or parade, to tackle that on. And I do think those are wonderful ideas. My question was more so, if you were someone like, let's say you're getting started, right? Basically my question is, where do you start? You want to grow, you want to market out there, you want to, be, what's the word? Just be everywhere and make sure that everyone can see you. How would you start that out? Is it through obviously social media, but is it through maybe making funny videos, or maybe is it through, tackling, like you said, different type of content, and then bringing, the PS in there at the end? Like, what would you do in terms of getting started? How do I get started in terms of growing that fan base, growing that audience, so that we can be, everywhere at one place, if that makes sense?
The answer is yes.
What do you mean by that? By just basically everything I said, just do it and try to do it at 100%, 100 times over, right?
That's right, brother. Anything, the entire strategy of social, because it's free, is and, not or. What you just did is what all my clients do, and what everyone does. Everyone's so used to or because everything used to be so expensive, right? If you're gonna
I see what you're
got
saying.
it, because if you were gonna buy a billboard, you had to really figure out what the fuck you were gonna put on that because it was fucking $3,000. If you were buying
Right.
a lot of you have done direct mail, I'm sure, the OGs in here for your business. You had to really like decide what you were putting on the postcard, right? Because it was expensive. Social's free besides your time.
Right.
Everybody here has time. You're hungry, you're building your business, this is your life. So every platform and every concept that comes to your mind, and then you're gonna find what you like better. It's like working out. What should I do? Run, cardio, this, yoga, weight? The answer is yes. But then as all
Yeah,
of
just
you,
do it all.
yeah, and it's, I don't know how, obviously I'm rethinking if I should be playing basketball every day. But, like, I think that you need to figure out what works for you. And so the whole game, the thing that's stopping most people is insecurity of being on camera or not being able to come up with ideas.
I see. I feel like I'm just more so in a scenario where it's like, I feel like we've all been there, even if it's not like, for a business, right? Let's say you want to make like, I don't know, like different types of videos, you get a little bit down on yourself when you see, oh man, I keep making content, and I'm getting only like maybe 200 views. And it's like, how do I reach those thousands? How do I reach that,
I get it. Like I fucking been doing chest exercises for 10 years and I don't have definition. My body wasn't built for, honestly, some people do it for a week and they look like Hulk Hogan. Like everyone's got different shit. But
Right.
the reality is that here's my point on that, brother. What's the alternative?
Right. I see what you're saying. Just throw all the darts at the board, right?
And for everybody here who's done it for 100 times and they still get 100 views, that means you suck. So you got to mix it up. Like what you're doing
Get
doesn't
creative.
work. That's right. I think
All
the PS thing will open it up heavy for people. If you know that you can make videos about Bridgerton and then say PS, if you need a roof, I'm your gal, that, it could, the PS thing.
So would you say that's the key?
I think PS is the cheat code. Because then you can fucking make videos about anything, parenting, the summer, anything. But I like the idea of the first part. I want all of you to become the most trusted roofing entity in your state, if I had my way.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense because now instead of
Can I
us
ask a
being
question that I don't know? Is there a lot of referral business in this industry? Like if I'm crushing on social and someone hits me up, but they're in Kansas, could I like hit up one of you that's in Kansas and get a VIG? Yeah. Well, then now we're off to the fucking races, as you can imagine.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
see what
nice.
you're saying.
And that's what's nice about having these community groups and like, even in Contractor Dynamics, we have a free Facebook group called Nailed It that they can join and they can all kind of network with each other around the country. And we have people giving referrals all the time.
Now I would say bet the fucking farm on being the most trusted roofer, because then you're in the PS business. PS, and if you see this video and I'm not in your town, I've got somebody I trust in your neighborhood. Now you're fucking cooking with gas.
Absolutely. Mike Menardis, you're up. Thank you, Philip, so much. Mike Menardis, another Long Island guy. So maybe I got Long Island and New Jersey representing today. Mike, go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gary, I hope you won that basketball game. Thanks for being on and staying on with us.
Thank you.
So my question, being on Long Island, working with Joe, who was a couple questions ago, we have this awesome marketing, agency within our company, and we're looking to expand more into the affluent areas, into the Hamptons. We've done a couple projects there, doing designer and specialty roofs. Average cost is in the six figures. What would be some ideas to target some of the more affluent people who might not be on social media as much? Which platforms matter for this, this type of work and these types of people?
Rich people are on social media. This has been the greatest misnomer of the last 5 years for people.
All right.
Half the reason people go to the Hamptons is to take a photo and post it on Instagram.
I saw that white party you were at just the other day.
Those were very rich people. I think, brother, I appreciate the question, but, and this, I'm not saying this is a razz. I'm saying this is like, as a frustration of the world, and I want to get everyone over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
The what about affluent people question is 2016 talk.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you will cry. I mean, People search hashtag Hamptons all day. You'll be more than fine. They're more than there, right? Now, again, this goes back to content strategy. Going to Southampton and walking down Main Street and giving your 5 things to watch out for so that all those people can see the stores that they're accustomed to seeing visually in the thumbnail in the first 3 seconds. Now we're cooking. You see where I'm going?
Definitely.
Actually driving to the Hamptons for a production day.
Mhm.
So you get all the visual. Standing at the welcome to East Hampton sign. You see
That's
where I'm
all.
going, everyone?
I can't wait to see it. Great question, Mike. All right, John Hogan, you're up next with GaryVee.
What's up, Gary? I'm another Jersey guy, Union County,
Nice.
like 10 minutes from Wine Library. I'm up in Morris County now.
You go to Wine Library? Do you support that?
We do. I'm on the text message
Wine
thing,
text.
all that. Yeah, wine text, all that. We've done
By the way, anybody on this call that buys wine on the internet, like bullshit places like wine.com or whatever the fuck, if you don't sign up for wine text, I'm very upset.
good deals on there. So my question for you is, in your book, Day Trading Attention, you talk a lot about the role of almost luck, like just putting out a bunch of content, seeing what resonates, and then just putting all your chips on the table there. We talk a lot about long-term stuff, and it got me thinking, like, what are your thoughts on long-term investments? Like, for instance, SEO is something you don't expect a quick turnaround or a quick ROI.
I'm very concerned about SEO and SEM because of chatbots, AI. My brother and my fiance both no longer use Google. 100% ChatGPT. I actually am very concerned about people that are over reliant on search and Google. Yeah, and Jake, to your point, obviously you're seeing it the way I am. It's not dead, but it's declining. SEM's getting more expensive. SEO is getting harder. So it's a tactic that I worry about because I know one video on TikTok can do all you know what I mean?
Yeah. So double down on social.
SEM is search engine marketing. When you pay, SEO is search engine optimization, right? When you're organic. That's what was so awesome about search in 2000 when I was building it. It was like social. Do the right things on your website, show up first for free, crush. I did that. That game now is social.
Okay. Awesome.
But listen, the ultimate long-term, John, is branding.
Right.
Right? You're in here quoting. There's quotes of things I've said 7 years ago in here. That's called branding. You know what I mean? So like branding, your face, not blue letters. I want to see your face. Adam Rossman's hat. I want so many videos locally. And this is why I want you to run. Once you get good at organic, now you're running ads for $100 a week in a 20-mile radius of your office. That's what I've been doing with Brandon Warnicki for Wine Library. Now my best friend Brandon is literally getting stopped every time he's anywhere now. Shopping centers, kids soccer. He's getting stopped everywhere. He's a local celebrity because we're pounding the 5-10 mile radius. If you're pounding, and PS, if you need roofs, you're going to start getting stopped at the local Whole Foods, pumping gas, dropping off your kids at school at $100 a week. Against the video that did best organically on a 5-mile or 10-mile radius of your office, within 3 months, you will be a local celebrity at $100.
That's awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right. Speaking of Whole Foods, you're definitely gonna have to sell a roof when you go to
Adam,
Whole Foods.
big quality doesn't matter. You guys know this that follow me. Like my lightings, I always look terrible. Look at this. I don't even think I have a black eye coming in. Like this is a whole fucking mess.
You're gonna need your whole paycheck to go to Whole Foods. I like that. So you gotta sell roofs. You gotta make money. Go to Whole Foods. Park your truck. Park your wrap truck in there. All right, we have a couple questions left. Amanda, you're live with GaryVee. This is your moment, Jersey girl.
Hey. Hey, Gary. I grew up in South Plainfield. I know you grew up in Edison.
Oh my God, right there.
Yeah, so it's exciting to be on the phone with you. Of course. I am proudly one of the few women in the roofing industry that own roofing companies.
Yes.
And my question was going to be really technical, but honestly, a lot of what you're saying makes me think of a different one, which is what is the role that women can play in redefining social media usage from a branding and marketing perspective? I just want to preface that by saying I started my roofing company last year, and 100% of the business was organic reach and through my social media channels. So I'm very adept at it, and I want to do something more and different. So how can I use who I am to my advantage and grow our business even further on social that might be more in line with reaching other women?
Well, look, I mean, I think to your point, the second you open the sentence with like, are you in the market for a roof? I'm in the roofing business. There's a little bit of like, oh, you know, because that's just obviously it's a male dominated industry. I also think that women make a lot of the decisions in a home. So I think you have a actually natural competitive advantage for half the market. You know, I would probably argue, and I've looked at this once before for a business, roofing skews a little bit more male for home decisions than some other categories like in the home, but it's still like right off top, you're going to over index on relevance to a lot of the decision makers. I think the question becomes like, it sounds like to me where I want to go is like just more at scale. All I want you to do, if that's what you've already been doing, is really, I don't want you to over philosophize the gender opportunity or other things of that nature. I just actually want you to go harder, like much hard, like that's the part that people don't see. Even I thought with this, Amanda, like, again, some of you know this. I was yelling like a motherfucker 6 years ago about TikTok, probably 2 years before COVID. And I didn't go hard enough on it.
Right.
And I made videos every day to go hard on it and was going hard at it. And I still didn't go hard enough on it. So I think, you know, what comes to mind is you should be on all 7 platforms: Snapchat, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Twitter, and you should make more pieces of content. For me, I'd rather you have 21 posts a day than a different like whatever got you there with all that organic that you did and you're naturally adept at it. Now my challenge to you is, can you get 21 posts up a day?
Got it. Okay.
Day on all 7 platforms. Could be the same video, right? You only have to make 3 videos.
Yeah.
But then you slightly tweak them for all 7, 3 times. That's what gets me excited more than like maybe going altruistic or over strategic. I'm looking for more reps, right?
Right.
It sounds like I'll use physical fitness again. It sounds like you've got technique down. I want more volume.
This is huge. You don't know how valuable this is. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. We're going to bring in Sam Stilley, 2nd generation roofing contractor out of Houston, Texas. Runs a big business down there. Sam, you're on live with GaryVee.
Awesome. Gary, what's up, man? Thanks for being just super raw and unfiltered. I really appreciate that, especially in the marketing world. So I want to say you're awesome. And thanks for spending some time with us today. We really appreciate it.
No problem. And Sam, you know what allows me to do that? I actually know my craft, right? Always keep in mind, this goes back to like why I want you all to do the same with roofing. You know this, like some of you have been doing it for so long, 3 generations, stuff like that. If you know your craft, lean on it. The reason I
totally agree.
I don't have to do anything besides talk because I know it. Go ahead.
Okay, so I had a question for you. In the past 2 years, there's been a massive overtake of private equity flooding our space, acquiring companies, whatnot, at EBITDA multipliers that have never been present in our industry.
Yep.
The one thing, obviously, when you're doing a multiplier on an EBITDA, obviously you're taking into account several factors, but I'm sure brand is a small portion of that. How do we as entrepreneurs or business owners in this group, just for market evaluation or even understanding what our business is worth, how do we show that value of the brand that has been there for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years? And is there a way to show a dollar value that's worth it when we're under $100 million in revenue?
That's a great fucking question, brother. The answer is it's a complete, this will make sense to you. Brand is impossible to measure. Brand is like love and God. So because it's impossible to measure, you can imagine it's impossible to value. Just the fact that your brain thinks about valuing it will give you negotiation power if you ever go there.
Sure.
For everyone here who is trying to get to a more significant level, the more you're in your content and you're the key man or key woman, the more you might even be able to have a stronger retention package on that exit. That's another long-term benefit of building the personal brand. They're going to be petrified for you to go. Some, you know, a lot of times people overthink it and think it's a detriment. But in reality, you know this, they're just trying to consolidate revenue.
Sure.
And so it actually gives you negotiating power on, like, I need a 4-year, if you want this as a person. Some of you might sell at a time where you don't want to do anything on the back end, so you want a 5-year contract instead of a 3-year contract. Well, if you're building brand personally, you'll be able to do that. So to answer your question directly, it's a hard thing. People try to do it all the time, as you can imagine. It's like any negotiation. What's it worth? What someone's willing to pay for it.
That's fair.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Sam, there's some things out there. You can Google that or ChatGPT. There's some things out there, but again, I'm telling you, they're like pretty flawed. And when it comes to the magical moment, it's more about you over talking about that from day one, so that they kind of know they're gonna have to put like an extra $1 million on the table because you value that. That's why I like it. Do you understand?
Essentially loading the fronts of the conversation.
You got it.
Great question, Sam. Let's do a quick question from Clifton Muckenfuss. He's one of Joseph Hughes' business coaches, and I wanted to get his insights here. And then I have one last question to wrap it up.
Clinton.
Oh, thank you, Benny. First of all, for the record, it's actually Muckenfuss.
Sorry, bro.
But I've been called a lot worse than Fuss. What's up, Gary?
Clifton, when your last name is Muckenfuss, you have to go crazy on social. I think that's your whole platform. I think you can make $10 million a year just being Muckenfuss.
I appreciate that. Trust me, I've been called a lot worse than Muckenfuss. But you said something earlier which I really resonate with, which is that thank you economy. So as I was preparing to exit my company, I owned a siding, roofing, window and door company in 2021. I formed a company, Building Raving Fans, which is based on the premise of expressing gratitude and surprise and delight. You mentioned earlier about the changing algorithms and paid attention with Google ads and all that's, you know, kind of going crazy right now. SEO may be dead, may not be dead. You know, what's an actual strategy that somebody on this call, a contractor, could implement into their business tomorrow to help their brand stay top of mind with their customers, generate those referrals, generate that repeat business?
Organic social at scale, like I said earlier, as many pieces of content as possible on many platforms. And when you get over indexing content, spending paid media against it with a call to action in the copy in your ad that you didn't have in the organic post.
Awesome. Dude, that's awesome. Thanks for that, Clifton. All right, Gary, appreciate your time today. I can't believe that you did it while you were getting stitches next door in your office. That's really cool. I got one last question for you, brother. There's a lot of contractors that are in here that aren't part of our Arena Mastermind community. What would you tell them it's important for a contractor when they're growing their business to join a peer group and to get more information? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, you know, as you can imagine, there's good versions of what Benny's doing here. There's bad versions. You have to be self-aware, Benny, right? So there are people here who can afford it and who know that they're good networkers and are like people and like can extract value from the investment they make on this. There are some people in here who are so introverted and so head down that maybe the investment's not right for them. And that's okay too. But what I would say is investing in your business is always the right decision. You know, obviously I sat here today and said, I want you to invest unlimited to organic social, but learning, educating, networking, you know, it's incredibly important. And, you know, like I said, for the people that are not part of your crew, I'm sure plenty of them would benefit greatly, but you know me, I like to shoot it straight. I'm sure many of them would not get value out of it. Like, don't just do it to think you're doing something. It's like, Benny, you know this. You know how many people join a gym and pay the monthly membership because they think that means they're working out, but then they don't go and work out? And I think people have to be self-aware here. Like, if you're not the type of person that's going to take advantage of it, then don't fucking sign up. But if you know you're that person, well, then those become the things that you should be considering. Thank you, everyone. I wish you all well.
See you guys.
Cheers. Bye, everyone.